Yes, I am.
Awesome. All right. Hey guys, welcome to the Q&A. This is the first of many. We're going to start doing these on weekly or bi-weekly basis, depending on how this goes. I'm OP. I'm one of the developers for OPRS, and I'm here to answer some questions that you guys had. I'll just jump right into it. First question that we got was, where is the fine line between OP plugin and something that is just quality of life? An example, counting in-game ticks using the metronome, or comparison tick timers on certain mobs or effects timers. For that one, that there's really a fine line that starts and ends with jagex. We have to be as compliant as possible to be sure that the developers and users are not at risk of any issues. We don't want any bans. We don't want the developers coming under any fire. So yeah, we need to make sure that the compliance is there, and that's the reason for it. So anything that is increased efficiency is what's going to be an issue. That's what jagex kind of considers. So example is like blackjacking, things of that nature that jagex really doesn't like, but we try to push the boundaries to give you guys anything that we can. We want to make sure that we're not being afraid of the boundaries that have been set, but we're just working around them. Any updates regarding the situation with jagex since the compliance update? As it currently stands, we opened communications with them in February. They responded and they said that it's been passed off to the relevant team. About 7 emails later, we were contacted by them again, but due to the COVID situations, there's been some delays. But we do wish to talk and keep the communication open. Will you or have you had any contact with the developing team with OSRS Remastered? What is your opinion of it, and will you collab with them at all? We've had no direct contact regarding that specifically, although we are always open to the conversation and collaboration. Yeah, so they've also, the OSRS Remastered developer has also started, and he will not work to integrate with other clients. So yeah, there's that. Can you guys make some better guides for plugin development? I want to develop some plugins, but the information on how to interact with the client is extremely sparse. I agree with that. Right now, if you go to search around on any Google, whatever, there's maybe a handful of things that even relate to this or how to get started. That's a problem. We do want to see more people getting involved. So very soon I'm going to be starting a OPRS YouTube channel where we do all different types of development stuff and just community-based events. Yeah, a lot of that will be tutorials on the API, things like reviewing other people's plugins and making changes to them, showing good habits, and yeah, anything that we can do to push the community to be involved. We do want a community that's lively and that's enjoying producing content as much as they are using the content. So there's that one. What are some future upgrades and plugins that we may be seeing that aren't currently under development, and how will they get tested to ensure that they aren't deemed OP? Regarding what I was just talking about, we're really reaching out to you guys to make the new plugins. The developers are really busy maintaining the client, doing all of our due diligences with that, expanding the API, making sure all of the necessary things are available for you guys just to hop right into creating. But yeah, so if you guys do get involved with that, it would be really nice. It would help us, and it would help everybody else too. So the answer to that one is you guys will be deeming if it's OP or not, and we'll be deeming that too when we go to either pull the changes in or just deny them if they're too OP. Yeah, so don't do that. Did any of the developers see value in the client go down post announcement of the OP plugins and banned plugins from Jagex? So basically, he's asking when the OP plugins got removed, did our client's value get degraded? As far as I see, we're completely free. We're open source. We have a Patreon that's at no obligation, so the value can't really fluctuate. We just are a free platform where you can come and make some cool stuff and talk to people in the community. But yeah, there's no real value. Now, if you're speaking in terms of usefulness, I think we're still on top. I think that now that we're unforked from Runelite, which some of you may not know this, but we are officially unforked, which means we're an entity of our own, essentially. It means we don't need to pull every update or do everything like Runelite does. So we kind of can make more of our own path. But yeah, basically, we're free, and our usefulness, I think we're still at the top. We're going in a progressive direction, and I think it'll prove our worth soon enough. So just stay tuned, and you'll see. As a plugin/client developer, would you like to see features in Runelite OPRS added to the official client, or do you feel they belong as a third-party option? I'd like to see for Jagex to come up with a proper solution as far as utility and playability that they approve of and that they're putting out. You know, that's their game, and if they had that, I think it would fill somewhat of a void. But until that void is filled, third-party clients are going to continue to pop up and kind of take over as far as what people like to use. With the use of banned plugins still available, do you feel that it will help that they help improve your skills on OSRS, or do you feel like they devalue your ability to learn? So this is a good question, because this is what our recent updates with removing the plugins from the client, that's kind of what this is all about. Now that they're removed, we give everybody the option. Do I want to use the plugin, or do I not want to use it? You can download them, or you can just choose not to. So if you feel like it might devalue your ability to learn content, just don't use it. And if you want to use them because you already have learned the content, or maybe you don't have any real reason to learn it, you don't have time to play a lot or whatever it may be, maybe this is an option to help you with that. But yeah, so that's kind of another reason besides just compliance. We want to make sure that everybody's given an option and it's not just bundled. You choose your fate. As far as the banned plugins, none of those are endorsed by us. You use those at your own risk. If you download them, if you find them from somewhere else, whatever it may be, anything that's not included in the client when you download it from OPRS is not endorsed specifically by us. What are your thoughts about OSRS HD project by Toddy? Would it be possible to link the clients together or add plugins to this new HD client? I'm going to start with Toddy doesn't really have any plans to do that with us, and we don't really have any plans to do that with him. He plans to add his own plugins, and that's pretty much the extent of that. As far as my thoughts on that project, I think that once you start Frankensteining a modern engine like Unity with a game that was designed almost 2 decades ago, how well the content plays and how well everything really feels coherently is up to debate. We'll have to see when it's released. But as far as I can see, it's going to be really good for maybe content creators or people who are looking to get the highest detail out of the game. But the charm in RuneScape really is that it is that game that we've all been playing since we were kids. Do you have any relationship with the Runelite team? And if so, how is it? Some of us do, others do not. We'd like to be able to coexist and prove that our motives are justified, which I think is something that they view right now as not. They think that we may be more geared towards offering the things that aren't so good for the game's health, but really we do want to see the game flourish, and we do want to see the players enjoying the time that they do spend on it. At the end of the day, we wouldn't exist without Runelite, and I think that that's really important to mention, is that we have to pay our homage to Runelite because that's where it all began, clicking the fork button. So yeah, thank you, Runelite. Are the devs super cool software engineers IRL full time? Good question. Some of us are. Some of us aren't. Just no difference between them. We're all good in our own ways. Despite some of us being software engineers and some of us just doing this as hobby. If I wanted to start creating my own plugins for Runelite or OPRS, what things are important to understand and learn? Is there a good chance that resources you know of, or is there a chance to get resources you know of to help developers get their teeth into creating plugins? Yeah, again, I do plan to create the YouTube, so that will help with that. The first thing you need to know when you start creating plugins is first how to build and compile a project. You need to be able to load it up and have IntelliJ and get into it. Really, that's the first step. If you don't have any programming experience, it might be a little difficult. Although the API is pretty simple, so maybe it's a good place to start. Yeah, just really tinkering is really how you learn. Just getting in and getting involved. Finding cheat plugins and utilizing them is extremely easy compared to Runelite, where you have to build the code yourself. Do you guys feel bad or feel that it's a problem to enable such powerful tools to everyday players? Well, I don't think that you should have tools that aren't for everyday players, that are just for specific players to begin with. But besides that, I would feel more bad if we did close source and if we did start making it harder for the people who are trying to create legitimate programs or legitimate plugins to help their gameplay or help other people's. So closing source doesn't just it's not an easy thing to do. You don't just close the source and say, all right, guys, well, now you guys can't create it and we can, and anything that we do, no, that's not what we're about. We're about having the community involved, having everybody in approval of their quote unquote destiny with OPRS. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the points on that one. Who had the initial idea for the Runelite Plus client, and how did it all start? So basically, the gist of it is there were a lot of the founders of Runelite Plus that had forked all the versions of Runelite or versions of Runelite and started creating their own, plugins, whether they have been things that Runelite had stopped supporting, or things that we just really liked to build, like one specific area. Like I know that some of us made like PvP based things, and some of us made, like this is the best thing for bosses or whatever, more specific things. And then Superman, the admin, started creating issues and speaking to us about our plugins and things and saying, come into this community, we'll all upload to one spot. And yeah, Runelite Plus was born. And since then, the ownership has been handed over to Null, and here we are. And that's all of the questions that I prepared answers for. And now I'm going to take some from the top in the QA and start giving you guys some of the answers to the questions that you've put recently. All right, so hopping right in. Hydro says, any possibility for an HD plugin? So I'll start off, if you don't know, we have the GPU plugin, and turning that on does a lot for the visual aspects of RuneScape. It has analyzing, I can't really say that word, and it also, basically, it's going to make your performance or your visuals better. Put it at that. The other thing is we do have some developers working on different projects, working on different things. So an HD plugin isn't really out of the question, but no specific plans to release something like that soon. Let's see. Pick one here. Okay. Robo says, how did you get into programming? I've been programming for a really long time. As far as I know, I think I started about 11 years old and started in Visual Basic, was making some just fool around things, and then just kept progressing, got into RuneScape private servers, and just like dove into really RuneScape related things. And yeah, so just basically my programming career revolves around this game. It's kind of sad, but true. Okay. What future features are you most excited for with OPRS? Well, I'm really excited for the mirror mode that just came out. That was a good addition that Null added. The mirror mode is really nice because now people can play without the overlays on one screen, and they can start to add content to places, whether it be Twitch or YouTube, without fear of any retaliation, basically. So I think that's really good. I don't think that users should fear retaliation for using a client which is compliant. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for a lot of stuff. There's some stuff that I'm not sure on the release date or if it's going to be released. So I don't want to leak anything. But yeah, there's some good stuff in the works, guys. Yeah, I think I'll take one more and then I'll call it at that. Any plans to improve development documentation? So yeah, I don't see a reason why not to. It's something that we've kind of felt won't help as much. It won't, like, it's not having like Java docs or something doesn't really help a new developer that much. I would say it is important maybe to have just as a point of reference, but ultimately I think a lot of people will find resource in the YouTube content and maybe plugin write-ups with documentation inside where people can take a look at how a plugin came to be or things of that nature. So yeah, I do think it's needed for sure. Definitely is something that we need to look into. As we said, we want people getting involved. So to get them involved, we probably need to put out a couple more things. So yeah. Kyle, go ahead and open up the voice, and if anyone wants to talk with me about something specific, go ahead and do so. And I think there's a couple other developers in here who would be happy to answer some of your questions too. So thank you for tuning in, and see you next week.
Do I continue recording, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle, whenever you get a moment. Let's see. Yeah, no problem, pal.
Is it safe to use OPRS and password safe? Yes, we don't actually save any info at all, so you can literally just play if you like. We don't save any information like that at all. It's always open source, so there's no reason why to keep any.
Augie, where are you seeing these questions?
They're right now typing in the QA, and you can right-click the folks and
Oh, right.
remove the server mutes on a few of them.
Good idea.
Looks like we're moving everyone to general.
Yeah, let's. I'll move to general if you want to talk over voice. Are people still not able to talk, Augie? Or they can now? Okay, good.
Yeah, they're not muted. They just need to unmute their mic or unmute.
Yeah, that's all they need to do now. Let's just unmute themselves.
Oh.
.117's HD Runelite plugin.
Oh yeah, Hydro. I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, that plugin is looking good. I'm not sure how far along the development is on that, but it did look good when I saw it. Yeah, as Owain said, we're definitely excited for that one.
Yay, Owen.
Owain said that he is not going to be talking tonight. I also wanted to say thanks everybody again for tuning in to this. We are going to be doing more of these and just getting the community more involved. I know Kyle just did a drop party a day or two ago. We plan to do community events like that, whether it be giving back with drop parties or just going on PK trips or mass bossing. Just getting people together is really going to be the focus here the next couple months. So appreciate all the support as always, guys. The live stream question. Yeah,
Go live now.
Yeah, I don't see why not. There's definitely a lot of things that could be done as far as content for plugin development, just RuneScape in general, just learning about the game, learning about the game that you play. So yeah, definitely in the future, look forward to some streams. I know there's a couple people in the community who wouldn't be opposed to doing some of those. So yeah, that'd be definitely great. Yeah, again, Mitch, we can't really control what people do. We're open source, so if somebody decides to take it down a different avenue than it was intended, then that's on them. Not really something that we can do anything about. We plan to stay open source, and we plan to keep releasing things. So if people take them and abuse them, then that's something that they choose to do.
Hello?
Hey.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
What can I use the blackjack thing, or will I get banned?
That's not really a question that I can give you an answer to. We don't say that you can use that plugin.
Yeah, but would I get banned if I use it?
When it was in the client, we had no bans when people use it, multiple 99s, and still to this day, those who unofficially use it still haven't been banned.
So I can use it and not get banned?
Up to you.
No, but I'm a...
It's ultimately your choice if you want to use it or not.
Yeah, but will I get banned?
I don't know, I'm not Jagex.
Okay. Is there a way I can't get banned
Banned from the server? Yes. Yes, you will get banned from the server. Goodbye.
But guys, will I get banned?
Well,
He got banned from the server.
that guy was extremely ignorant.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we do the best. We do the best we can to answer the questions, but we can't, we can't compromise anything and say something like that he was trying to bait us to. So.
I also had a question as well, and I'd just like to thank you guys for taking the time as well. It's actually interesting to
yeah, of course.
hear your sides as well. But my question really was, is there a plugin or a chance that a plugin could be made to save where items are locked in your inventory? So, example, I hybrid a lot, right? And I've got a sweet spot in my inventory where I like to have my items, but occasionally the items do get moved, obviously, right? Is there a way of locking it by chance, or is that even
the best advice would be learn to top switch.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I've always been a bottom switcher, man. That's what I've been told before too, right? But
bottom switching is a lot easier, but in terms of locking.
Sorry to cut you off, Kyle. We do have the anti-drag plugin, which is it's not ideal for what you're saying, but it should be helpful with clicking your items. But as far as can we lock an item to a specific inventory spot, we could, but I think it would go against the compliance thing.
Right. Yeah, I figured that.
So I would say here, I will say no.
No problem. Appreciate that, though.
Okay, so you want me to clarify the safety of your account using the client. The safety of your account is, as far as OPRS is concerned, you're completely safe. There is nothing in the client. You can view the whole source code. It's open source. Everything that gets pushed right from GitHub, so anything that's on Git is being, you can view it. So having said that, your accounts are perfectly secure with just the client. Now, if you're downloading, what's that?
Sorry to cut you off. It's worth noting as well that nothing gets sent to the servers. So things like your local settings, etc., are all stored locally to your PC. There's no remote upload to our servers where we can view them. Everything's 100% local to you.
And the only way that I could see compromises is if you are using maybe somebody else's plugins that aren't approved by us. At which case, I just advise against generally, anyways. But but yeah, if the source hasn't been checked by us or is not from us, we can't guarantee that they don't have something malicious inside of it. Although we do take some steps to try to prevent that. It is maybe that would be probably the one case where you would need to look.
What sort of steps do you take to prevent
So one way that somebody could get access to your account is through reflection. They could look into your stored credentials. So we take steps, or we've been working to take steps on the security manager where we can block certain things as far as reflection goes. If there's any other questions, I'm going to take one more here, and then I'm going to hop out of the channel. So I'll take one more question, preferably from voice.
How's your day going, OP?
I reckon I'll answer Ox's comment.
I have a quick question, if I could.
Yeah.
When I just started using the OPRS client today, actually, and when trying to delete some plugins, it says that it can't be deleted because it's dependent on another plugin. Could you clarify in code which other plugins it depends on? Is that somehow possible?
Yeah, that would be something that you would probably put in support, and we'd take a look at your logs and see what's going on. It's hard to tell just right here and right now, but definitely something that can be addressed.
Yeah, I think I tried to delete the mirror plugin, and it said I couldn't delete it, or the mouse cursor plugin. Yeah, and the mouse cursor plugin is dependent on something else, so I couldn't delete that either. So it would just be nice to have a clarification on what other plugin it depends on.
Yep, not a bad point. Okay, that's it for today. Again, thank everybody for coming in here. I will see you guys next week. Thank you.
Thank you, OP.